Funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
You're tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Football Friday in the Doghouse. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to serenade you with football music all throughout the show. You know that you're going to get that. That's just the way it works with us. You're going to get the football music all throughout the show. And that means that. I'm talking about right there. That's right, baby. One and only. Original Monday Night Football game. This might be the first time that the rumor has been exposed to this. Take this back to Troy with it. The way we roll on a Football Friday, baby. Break out those guitars. Let me hear a little guitar in here. Go on now. Oh, that just gets you in the mood, doesn't it? I mean, it just does. And look, for all intents and purposes, this is SEC Media Day Eve for us, since we are bringing you 12 hours a day coverage from Dallas beginning next week. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, recaps on Friday. I'm not sure what Natty Danny's going to be listening to. I mean, you know what I mean? Maybe he'll put Michigan's national championship game on video loop and just listen to that all week long. And then by the end of the week, the Wolverines may have as many natties as the SEC has had in his lifetime. I mean, come on, Dan. You know I love you, but that's pretty funny. No, it is. It is pretty fun. Can I take this thing all the way home? There you go, baby. Need a cigarette when you get done with that thing. It's outstanding. All right. You know, the most sought-after interview at Media Days is going to be Nick Saban. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. He will be there as part of the ESPN broadcast team. And it will be fascinating to see how different his demeanor may be in that role. Going to be a totally different dude when it comes to Nick Saban there. I mean, he was at the ESPYs last night. Made a little funny, you know.
It's an honor for me to have two of our former Heisman Trophy winners be here to present this award to me. And it's also, I'm very thankful for the other players, former players who played for us that are here tonight. We have a good group of guys here, enough that we could actually have practice after this.
Let's go. Let's go ahead and practice. Can't get the ball off his mind. You go ahead and practice after this. Nick Saban. It's going to be really fascinating to see how different he'll be. You're going to get to see his sense of humor. I really believe that. There is a great article in The Athletic today talking about the butterfly effect of Satan's January. Sabins. I said Sabins. I said Saban. Stop it. Don't even. No, Grizz is already looking at the machine. Oh, I got to mark that one down. Got to record that. I got to play that one back.
He's
Saban.
Nick freaking Saban.
Nick Saban. Saban. He said Saban. Killing me. I'm not going to live that one down.
Roll Tide.
Nick Saban, probably the greatest coach in the history of college football.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, there's a great article in The Athletic talking about the butterfly effect of Saban's January 10th retirement and what it had on the sport. Incredibly, listen to this number. 423 coaches and staffer jobs were impacted by the coaching dominoes that fell after Saban's retirement. 423 jobs. 5 more major college programs needed new head coaches. And as a result of Alabama's hire of Kellen DeBoer, the impact ultimately spread to 38 Power 5 schools, 25 Group of 5 schools, 34 lower level programs, and more than a dozen high schools and 10 NFL organizations, all impacted by Nick Saban's retirement. It's crazy. All right, let me say this. I was wrong on the Paul Skeens deal. I'm going to own it. All right? I was wrong on the Paul Skeens deal. I mean, the kid should start the All-Star game, which he will. It was announced this morning that he will start the All-Star game. It's the right thing. It's the right thing. Last night, he no-hit the first-place Brewers for 7 innings through 99 pitches and was pulled from the game by manager Derek Shelton in a 1-0 game, no less. Skeens said he was fine with it. I would rather he not be. It was the second time it's happened in his first 11 starts in the majors. He had a no-no through 6 against the Cubs and was pulled out with a no-hitter. The Pirates are only 2.5 games out of the playoffs. You have to win that game. 1-0 is kind of dicey. They hung on and won. In all 11 starts, when he left the game, they were leading. And yet they lost 5 of those games. 1-0 is dicey. I want the kid to be pissed for coming out. 99 pitches. I mean, come on. He could have got through the last 2 innings on 20 more pitches, and he'd have thrown, 118, 119 pitches, something like that. I want him to fight for it. I want him to, no. But that's the way now I get it. He says, I'm okay with it. I understand. What do you mean you understand? I don't like it. We are going to go up to Pittsburgh in a few minutes with lifetime Yinzer Chris Mack, the co-host of BetQL Daily, based out of Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's right. I call him a Yinzer. At the top of the one, Drew Darman is back with a look at the Tennessee Vols heading into next week's meetings. We'll get into that with Drew. Your phone lines are open, 256-576-4977. Get you in the show. Text window is open, 7329-TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. My personal X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. You can find the show on YouTube at WZZN TV. Why don't I have it on? I usually have it on here in the studio. Remember, both of our stations have great apps as well with tremendous options for additional programming. The Zone app has multiple channels for the high school streaming network, plus UAH, the Havoc, while Talk Radio WZZN has the Trash Pandas. And soon, you guys in Franklin County, who will be listening on Monday, they'll have their own app as well for ESPN 1340-1069. So the ESPYs were last night. I don't watch it. But they were last night. And they were hosted by Serena Williams, who found it necessary to pile on to Caitlin Clark with a racist comment. Quote, Caitlin, you are Larry Bird in that you are an amazing player. You have ties to Indiana, and white people are really crazy about you, close quote. That is a racist comment. That is a backhanded compliment and a racist comment. I mean, isn't that what we're told if you turn it around the other way? Turn that thing around and talk about a black hockey player that way. Have a white dude get up there and say about a black hockey player that black people love you. You're good, and black people love you. You don't want race to be a thing. Stop talking about race. But she found it necessary to do that. Serena also needed to criticize Harrison Buckner for his comments at the commencement of a Christian college. Benedictine College, a little Christian college, 400 people. Remember, Buckner had the audacity to cite that paraphrasing, that the number one role for a woman, or number one role a woman can play in her life is that as a mother and a wife, a homemaker. Yes, you'll have a career. Yes, you'll have these things, but homemaker is also an honorable profession. I can't believe he said that. Oh, my gosh. With Buckner in the audience, Venus Williams was commenting, that everyone can enjoy women's sports because they are sports after all, to which Serena chipped in, except you, Harrison Buckner. We don't need you, like ever. Very classy. Very classy. Of course, that drew laughter and applause. But you know what? If I were the Chiefs that were in attendance there, Andy Reid, the head coach, Patrick Mahomes, or any other Chief, I would have gotten up and walked out. I'd have made a scene. I'd have got up and walked out. I'd have pulled a Will Smith. Get my kicker's name out of your mouth. But once again, the least tolerant people in the world are those that preach tolerance. They want tolerance for everything they believe in, but they don't want tolerance for something somebody else believes in. I have 5 daughters. 5 daughters. Oldest is 43, youngest is 29. 5 daughters. All have had very successful careers outside the home. I mean, very successful career. One is a nationally known artist. One is an outstanding singer. One runs a financial institution, an investment institution. One works with her husband for a UK company in the U.S. And one has been a hairdresser to the stars. $300 a haircut. But you know what? To a woman, they consider that the number one responsibility in their lives is that of mother and wife. All but one of them now have children. And they think their number one responsibility is being a mother. They've all put their careers on hold, or their careers are concurrent, but their number one responsibility is mother and wife. The one that doesn't have kids works with her husband and cherishes the role as a wife and a homemaker. And here's the flip side, by the way. Us as men have a responsibility to provide and protect our family and not to rely on them for income, not to rely on your wife for income. Yeah, it's nice. Chip in, that's good. But we don't rely on that. You don't rely on that. It's your job to provide. It's your job to protect. When there's a noise that's heard, you don't say, honey, get up and go, what was that? Honey, go check and see what that was. If there's a noise, like last night when the dog starts barking at 9:30 at night, I spring from the bed, put the robe on, go check. And it's one of my knucklehead sons bringing back batteries from my equipment, my power tools. And I'm like, what are you doing? He says, these batteries are all dead. They need to put them on your charger. I'm like, well, why not when you take 3 batteries out of my barn, take the friggin' charger with you? Instead of bringing them back here at 9:30 at night, making a dog bark. The point is, I didn't say, honey, can you get up and go see what that sound is? My wife makes a few bucks. She's like, what do you want me to do? I just got to check for, I said, do whatever you want with that. It's your money. Do whatever you want. Go buy me a gift. No, I don't say that. Do whatever you want. That's your money. My job is to take care of this family financially. So we have roles. My job is to discipline the children. And when they were growing up, my job is to spiritually lead in our home. Our children and our wives. So go ahead and put me on blast about how archaic my thinking is. I'm pretty thick-skinned. I can handle it. You want me to celebrate your pride to live alternate lifestyles? Okay, fine. How about respecting the vast majority who believe in the traditional roles of men and women? As a great man once said, know your role, jabroni. Speaking of roles, that dude that's in the role of playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax and hanging out with the rumor, shortest-lived intern we're ever going to have in a history of interns. He's living large and in charge on a Friday. It's DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together on a polish.
Brilliant!
I've got $100 smoking in my billfold. I know I ought to save it, but it's burning a hole right through my pocket and into my skin. Come Monday morning, I'll be broke again. It's finally Friday, I'm free again. I got my motor running for a wild weekend. It's finally Friday, I'm out of control. Forget the working blues and let the time roll.
Down goes Grissom.
Someone call someone because there's a cleanup on aisle 3 as a man is down.
It's like taking poison, like rat poison.
It's not St. Patty's Day, so that's a different day entirely.
That's a different day altogether. Hey, Grizz, how you doing today? You think I just killed the show? I just killed the vibe of the show. Everybody's like, oh, gosh, he went on a rant.
Sometimes I don't know how to come in right behind you and say something.
You don't have to
sometimes,
comment
you know
on
what I
it.
mean? I'm just messing.
Comment on it. You don't have to
No,
agree.
everyone has their opinion. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I don't understand. That was the whole point of like having two different sides, politically. Like you're supposed to be able to have some opinions, and you're supposed to be able
respect.
to and you're supposed
right?
to respect
With
each
respect.
other. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I'm not going to sit here and bash you for what you're going to say. No, because there might be sometimes I feel the same way, and I may not be able to voice my opinion in the right way too, because I feel like every time that I see something on the media pertaining to this Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese or whatever situation, it always seems like there's all these different scenarios, and they're trying to create these weird dramatic events that aren't really what's going on in the sport. but then trying to like overload me in every media outlet so far to just talk about the WNBA or talk about something that's going on in their sport or between their little feud or whatever. So I'm just over the whole like the way that the media just kind of expresses that, and then it tries to get me to be negatively towards what's going on,
right?
Rather than just watching and enjoying the sport. Like Dawn Staley, I don't care how much the disparity and all that stuff about payment. You get paid a lot of money. You're the greatest women's coach.
She made another comment
yeah, she made a comment about getting paid again, about paid gap and all that stuff. And you get paid.
You know what? It's all about what kind of revenue you create.
Exactly.
Right? It's all it is. It's all about that. Now, yes, they had a huge number in the tournament. There's no doubt about it. Thank you, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, and Angel Reese, too. You can say Angel Reese, too.
Otherwise, yeah, except for Angel Reese games don't get the number that Caitlin Clark games do. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, exactly.
But here's
I completely
the deal.
agree.
Here's the deal. Regardless of all of that, it depends. It's all about what kind of value you are creating for the people that are paying that bill.
Yeah.
And the reality is that women's basketball, by and large, does not create nearly the value that men's basketball does. So it's not going to be equal pay. All right? It would be like, I mean, it would be okay. I use me as an example.
Yeah.
All right? Why does Paul Feinbaum make 10 times as much as I make? Because of the value he creates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, some people might think, you know what, your show's as entertaining as Paul's is. I get texts about that all the time. I don't understand it, blah, blah, blah. I'd rather listen to you than Paul, whatever, okay? The reality is Paul Feinbaum is a huge star that drives big numbers. And I have to accept the fact that Paul Feinbaum is going to make 10 times as much as I do.
Yeah.
That's just the way it's going to be because of the fact that he creates that kind of value for his employer. All right? You are worth what somebody will pay you. That's what you're worth. You say, well, I'm worth more than it. No. You are worth whatever somebody will pay you. And in terms of Dawn Staley, she is exactly getting paid what her worth is. Because if she was worth more, they would pay her more.
Yeah.
Okay? That's your way. You could say, oh, this guy's overpaid, or no basketball player should make, LeBron James going to make $52 million. You know what? They're not paying him $52 million because he's not worth $52 million.
Yeah.
These people are not idiots. So, it's the push. I mean, at some particular point in time, we got to say, wait a minute, slow down.
I mean, the same situation that's going on right now with the, sorry to talk about soccer, with the U.S. men's team. They're going to break the bank on trying to get the next coach because the World Cup's going on in the backyard, and then they're going to try to do all this stuff, and that's just going to be even more with that whole pay disparity between the women's game, too, and paying their coach.
They get $400 million for being in the World Cup. The chicks get 30 or $30 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, what are we supposed to do? What do you want us to do? All right, we got to get a break. When we come back, we're going to go to Pittsburgh. Because this Paul Skeens story, this is getting out of control. Chris Mack is up next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
AL cert number 21014.
Welcome into the hottest and coolest game show around called The Freeze. Today's contestant, Bob. Bob, can you tell me the heating and air business that provides free service with repair?
Is it Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
Can you tell me which heating and air business provides free second opinions?
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning.
You are a grand prize winner. You have won a visit from the #1 heating and air business in the Tennessee Valley.
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
That's right. Talent Heating and Air is coming to you.
This is Thomas with Talent Heating and Air Conditioning, and you don't have to win a game show to use us. We have free second opinions year-round, and this summer we're doing free service calls with a repair. So just remember, call Talent Heating and Air Conditioning at 256-503-4490 or visit us on our website at talenthvac.com.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're #1, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
Look, it's Football Friday. We're always going to use football music. Even if we're not talking football, it's Football Friday. I mean, come on. It's the eve of SEC Media Days. But what's going on in Pittsburgh with a kid, of course, that came out of LSU, Paul Skeens, is not to be ignored. And so we have to go up there. Now, look, I said that we were going to go, we're going to talk to a Yinzer. You know what I mean? And Chris Mack. I don't know where the hell that term came from. I don't know. All I know is that my cousins that live in McKeesport, when I was a kid and we go back to my dad's hometown, and they'd always say Yuns. They'd be Yuns. Oh, when's Yuns? And they'd say Thom. Thom, Yuns, and they'd talk like a different language there, as I should speak right here in the South. But it was like a different language. So I don't know if the Yinzer thing came from the fact that they say Yuns or what. Chris Mack would probably tell us. And he is up now on the Neighbors Wealth Management hotline. Chris, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good, Tom. How you doing, man?
Fantastic. Where does this Yinzer thing came from? Is it because of the Yuns? Is it because they all call everybody Yuns over there? Like they say all y'all here in the South, they say Yuns up there?
Exactly. See, you got it. You got it figured out already. I've had to explain this to my family from the South, from Texas, down in Louisiana that way. They say y'all. You say y'all down there. We say yins. So yins going down a store later, pick up them steaks, throw on a grill, that kind of thing.
I just remember my cousin's a Thom. I'm like, it's Tom. Thom. I always say Thom.
Tommy. Head down to the store, grab me some milk and some bread.
Now, here's something that'll make you throw up a little bit in your mouth. My dad his family is all from Pittsburgh. My mom's family, my dad was half Italian, and that's where the name comes from. Half Italian, half Lebanese. Big Lebanese deal there in McKeesport. My mom is 100% Sicilian. Her family's from Cleveland, okay, from outside of Cleveland. And my dad and his dad, they're all Browns fans, and they gave us all my sons, my cousins, everybody. It's like a disease. We're all Browns fans. And I asked my grandfather before he died, I'm like, what's up with this Browns thing? He says, you got to understand something. He says the Steelers were awful. I mean, all in the 40s and 50s, they were terrible, and the Browns were winning championships. So we all became Browns fans, even though we lived in Pittsburgh. And they didn't even make a playoff game until 72, in Pittsburgh. People don't realize that. So it's crazy. Browns fans from Pittsburgh.
Nobody's perfect, Tom, so you can excuse that side of the family.
It's our cross to bear, I guess, is what it is. You know who's perfect is apparently Paul Skeens. How about that for a professional segue?
Nice segue. There you go.
That dude is out of his mind. 2 days ago, we're in Atlanta Braves country here. We're in a Braves affiliate, and I was saying, come on, Chris Sale. I mean, Chris Sale needs to start the All-Star game, even though he's going to probably pitch on Sunday, and even if he got out there and threw one pitch, Chris Sale should start the All-Star game. Skeens, it just hasn't been long enough. And then he goes in again, is no-hitting the first-place Milwaukee Brewers last night, and rightfully so, he is going to start the All-Star game. But how much excitement is there right now for this for Skeens and or the Pirates, who are really only 2.5 games, even though they're sub 500, 2.5 games out of the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't think it's just limited to here in Pittsburgh either, Tom. Like, we were talking about it on BetQL Daily this morning. I think it's a sports fan thing in general, right? Like, I think most, even casual sports fans, the story from the 4 major sports leagues right now that's capturing their attention with the other 3 in the offseason is Paul Skeens dominating Major League Ball right now. I mean, 6 wins in his first 11 starts. The Pirates have won 8 of those 11 starts, which is important for, like you said, struggling to stay in the wild race. Is up and down, usually missing. They're excited here in Pittsburgh, but I think that excitement does filter out to the rest of the country and the rest of the sports world, where people are looking at a guy who's doing things that honestly haven't been done in decades, if ever. I mean, the first rookie to start an All-Star game since, 95? He's right there in the Cy Young race. I know it is Chris Sale's to lose. You make a great point about Sale. He's the best in the National League right now. Wheeler right there. Suarez right there. But Skeens is down to 9-1 at BetMGM, for example, to win the Cy Young Award because there's a ton of money coming in on him because people are paying attention to what he's doing. They're excited by him. A guy goes innings with 11 strikeouts as a rookie and just his 11th start in the league. And let's not forget the 6 no-hit innings he had in his second start a couple months ago against the Cubs. People are interested in that. It catches their attention. And so I think it makes all the sense in the world for him to start the game on Tuesday night,
How quickly are the numbers coming down from Vegas on the Cy Young for him? Because there was a time where, I think he was, somewhere in that plus 1,000, plus 1,500 type range. Can they catch up fast enough with the action that's probably coming in on him right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's already moved. We were prepping our show last night, texting with each other that it moved down to 10-1 after that start last night. Like I said, put him third on the board behind Sale and Wheeler for the Cy Young, at least at BetMGM. And now he's down just as of like an hour and a half ago to 9-1. So, it's moving quick. There's a lot of money on him. I think it's an uphill battle for him to win the Cy Young not just because he's a rookie, and we know, these baseball awards that get voted on, people have built-in, baked-in biases, whether they make sense or not. Rookie can't win Cy Young. I do think it's an uphill battle, not just because of that, but because of what Sale and Wheeler, although he's dealing with those issues, back tightness his last time out. Suarez also in Philly, I think is a good bet, and he's at a longer number now if you're looking for a longer shot than Sale or Wheeler. But those are all got, Glasnow is going to come back off the IL eventually. All arms that are worthy of Cy Young votes, and Skeens has got to do it with the idea out there on the horizon, Tom, that they might shut him down mid-September, right? If he hits an innings limit, if he gets up around 140, 150 innings, they may decide to shut it down. And he's got to get to at least that number, I think, 150, 160, to have a legitimate shot to win the award. Nobody's won the award with fewer than 150 innings, I think, since Rick Sutcliffe back in 1984.
Chris Mack with us. He co-hosts the BetQL Daily show, does some stuff with the BetMGM show as well. And look, I think it's a good value still at 9-1 even. I think it's still a good value because, first of all, I hear what you're saying about the 150, but now they throw a parade for you if you have 150 innings. I mean, so I think that standard may be, continuing to come down a little. Secondly, and I hate to say this, Braves fan, close your ears, but Chris Sale has injury issues down the road. At some particular point in time, God forbid, Chris Sale, could miss a few starts. We'll see. This kid is a big strapping kid, which brings us to the innings and the fact that, now I'm old school, okay? Look, 99 pitches. It's a 1-0 game. Pittsburgh is right there in the race for the wild card. How do you pull this kid out of the game at 99 pitches in a 1-0 no-hitter? I mean, you got to run him back out there in the eighth. And it bothers me a little bit that he said he gets it, he understands it and everything. I want him to be pissed. I want him to say, no, I'm not coming out. I'm upset that they pulled me out. At least give us the impression that you wanted to stay out there. And if I got to throw 115 pitches or 118 pitches to have a no-hitter and ensure that we get the win, so be it.
Yeah, and I think to his credit, although, when he steps outside the lines, he's a much different personality. To his credit, Paul did say, I would have liked to go back out there. I told them I wanted to go back out there. At least that's according to their manager, Derek Shelton. I still also don't buy Shelton's excuse that he said Skeens looked tired in that seventh. Took him 6 pitches to get through the inning. He should have gone back out for the eighth, and I agree with you. Not necessarily in so much as do I leave him out there for 120 pitches, because I don't think he's gone over 110 yet in the majors, although over 100, close to a handful of times. I would have let him go back out for the eighth. And who knows, maybe he rips through the eighth in another 5 or 6 pitch inning, right? Gets a couple ground balls and has a chance to go back out for the ninth, and you do push it just a little bit and see if he can make some history. I do understand that no-hitters don't quite have the same value that they used to have back in the day. I'm a little more old school like you, though. I would have rolled him back out there for the eighth just to see how things would have gone. And just had a quick hook. If, give up a base hit, he's out. Walk a guy, run a pitch count up, and you don't immediately get 2 quick outs. Okay, we're going to pull you. We got the guys in the eighth and the ninth that we think we can trust, even as shaky as the Pirates' bullpen has been. I tend to agree with you, and I think this is, unfortunately, it's the way of the world now, especially with young starting pitchers.
6-0, 1.90 ERA, 89 strikeouts against 12 walks, and it's not just fastballs. He threw a couple of filthy sliders in there for strikeouts as well yesterday. He'd be averaging 12 strikeouts per 9 innings, which is the best in the National League. The numbers just go on and on and on. And what he has done with the 2, 6+ inning no-hit deal with 11 strikeouts, there's only one guy that's done that in the history of history, and that's Nolan freaking Ryan back in 1973. Right. I mean, those are all ridiculous numbers for this kid to start his career. It's just unimaginable on a team that doesn't, I think they've lost 5 of the 11 starts that he came out of, right? I mean, every game he's been in, when he comes out, they got the lead. In 5 of those games, they blew for him. I mean, the numbers could be even more staggering.
Yeah, they've blown 5 of those leads. They've come back to win a pair of those. So, I said, 8-3 in his 11 starts. But you're right. I mean, this is not a complete team that's built around Skeens right now. Probably also part of the reason they don't want to overextend him in spots, knowing that this isn't a World Series contender. Then again, the opposite end of the argument, Tom, would be, well, no, we've got Paul Skeens. Mitch Keller's having the best year of his career. Jared Jones, when he's healthy and off the IL, can absolutely blow people away too. And, oh, yeah, we've had a career renaissance year from Bailey Falter as well. So you've got the starters that if you're just able to get into the playoffs, even in just a wild card series, nobody wants to run into the Pirates in a wild card series and have to face Skeens and Jones or Skeens and Keller or some combination thereof. So, you know, even without the bats, and they have struggled mightily at the plate, even including a 12-run output earlier this week, they've still had trouble. They, I think, look at it and say, hey, we're not winning a World Series this year. We don't want to overextend these young arms. We're probably gonna shelve them when we have to and play it way too safe at times. But again, just the way of the world, I think, with young starting pitchers.
Yeah, I grew up in an era of Willie Stargell's We Are Family, Pittsburgh Pirates, and I don't think people realize what a great baseball town Pittsburgh is. And I'm of the belief, and I say this about Cincinnati as well, because they used to have great rivalries, you know, with the Reds back then. And I'm just of the belief that baseball's a better place when the Pirates are good, you know. And it was so long that they were bad. And when I was a real little kid, it was Roberto Clemente, you know, and I remember, you know, all of that. And it's just a better place when the Pirates are good. And it would be nice to see this be some sort of an extended thing. I mean, they're considered a small market team in baseball, but could this be the beginning of something for the Pirates?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you've got pitching, right, Tom? Like you've got the basis for, like I said, making some noise in the postseason. If you get to that point, it's all about getting there first, though, and that's been the battle here for the last 30 years, right? Really, if you want to, you could say the last 45 years or so. They've gone to the playoffs 6 times in that time frame. Twice lost to your Atlanta Braves down there, like you talked about. They've got to get there first, and that's going to include ownership actually dishing out a few more dollars at the trade deadline and in free agency and building up this team around the young arms that they have in place. Ben Cherington's been kind of hamstrung as far as what he's allowed to do financially and building out the roster around these guys. And unfortunately, I think if you're a Pirates fan, or like you said, even a baseball fan who thinks the game is better when the Pirates are competitive, you're probably not holding your breath for that to happen, knowing how the Pirates financially handle things, unfortunately.
The Livy Dunn thing doesn't hurt, though, right? I mean, you know, that just adds some juice to the whole deal, right?
Yeah, Paul Skeens and Livy Dunn, the new power couple in Pittsburgh sports, absolutely.
Anybody saying anything to him about that stash he's rocking? I mean, I know that that's kind of with the young guys. It's a thing now. The stash is back. But, you know, that thing there is right out of Keith Hernandez's book, you know?
I mean, you're right. It's back in now, right? And if she likes it, then he's going to keep it up, right? Why wouldn't he?
I suppose. I can't do it. I mean, I rock a little bit of a beard these days, but I couldn't do the stash. I just couldn't do it. I did it back in the day. I mean, anybody that's ever seen a picture of me from like the late 70s, early 80s, I had that stash rocking. But that's what it looks like when I look at it. Is that stuff? So, wow, it's a great story. There's no doubt about it. He gets the All-Star game start, and so we'll see how long, you know, these days. What's that mean, 1 inning? I mean, 2 innings? I can give him a couple of innings maybe. You know, but we can look forward to seeing, you know, Paul Skeens versus, you know, Juan Soto and Aaron Judge, my guys. And that should happen sometime in the first inning. So it'll be good to see that kind of stuff. The only thing is I wish that they were still wearing their own uniforms. I mean, these clown uniforms that they wear now at the All-Star game, it's killing me, man. I wish they would wear their home and aways like they did, you know, for, I don't know, 150 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that could probably be fixed with the All-Star game. You're right.
Yeah.
I think it's something. Soto and Judge, Gunnar Henderson maybe also in the top 3 of the lineup there for the AL. I mean, if you talk about the number dropping on Skeens NL Cy Young odds, if he's able to get a couple of strikeouts in that bottom of the first inning, then who knows what we're talking about, right? The number dips even more probably before he even makes another start.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, Chris Mack has been our guest. You can catch him on the BetQL Daily Show. How do they find that? Tell them where they can find your podcast on that deal.
Yeah. We're there. We're also live host on about 25 different network affiliates. And, of course, you can watch the show as well on YouTube. Just search Odyssey Sports.
All right, man. Appreciate you as always. Great stuff.
Thanks, Tom. Have a great one.
Now, Chris was a sports talk show host for years and years, but he's actually part of an afternoon show on Y108 in Pittsburgh now, which is a country radio station. You know, he's spinning the platters that matter in the stacks of wax, you know, doing that as well. But in Pittsburgh, that's not uncommon, you know what I mean, that you kind of cross over, you know, where you almost have to have a sports guy on every music station as well, because that's what everybody wants to talk. No, I want to talk some sports there. And by the way, Grizz, not only should they be wearing home and away their gear, I mean, this has been an abomination.
100%.
Oh, 100%. Not only that, I'll take it a step further. I wish teams in the top 4 major sports, okay, which does not include MLS, I wish that all teams would wear it. Can you imagine the Pro Bowl? Well, they don't even have a Pro Bowl anymore, so forget the Pro Bowl. Can you imagine, like in the NBA? I think they did this in the NBA for a minute. But can you imagine, like in the NBA?
They did.
Yeah, one team's all wearing their whites, and the other team's wearing their colors.
Yep.
And then how cool would it look in hockey to have all the teams wearing their whites against all the teams wearing their colored jerseys?
Love to see it.
Oh, it would be so cool.
You know, Nashville, Vegas, like I would love to see all those teams like have those, you know,
color.
The color, yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I mean, baseball was great. Even, I mean, '99. I mean, that lineup, just sitting there going through all. I mean, just that's the whole point. Is just to showcase yourself and the team that you're on. And these jerseys, I get it. They're just Nike payment, you know. Whatever you're going to pay
horrific.
for.
They're
awful.
They're very bad. They haven't had one yet where I say, "Oh, that's a cool looking jersey." And I don't know who's buying them. You buy jerseys. Would you buy the All-Star jersey of Chris Sale? I mean, come on.
No. I mean, there was not. I think 2021 was probably the worst. And I wasn't. I mean, no. There's not been a single one I don't think I've really liked. Maybe back in like the early 2000s, maybe a couple of them looked good, but I still would just like the straight up, you know, wearing whatever.
All right, let's get a break. When we come back, we'll get the phone lines going. 256-5764-97.7. Get you into the show. 256-5764-97.7. I'm Thom Abraham. Back with more after this.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Celebrate and honor those who have served our country. The annual Military Tribute Night at Toyota Field is Saturday, September 14th. For the 5th straight year, the USA Patriots amputee softball team will square off with the local veterans of AUSA. The patriotic extravaganza will be capped off by a post-game fireworks spectacular. Tickets are $10. Get yours at trashpandasbaseball.com/events.
State's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Bingo every Monday night too starting at $7. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials. Next time you're online looking for landscaping inspiration, open Instagram and check out Southern Gent Landscaping. They can help make your yard your dream outdoor oasis. Southern Gent Landscaping can handle it all, from landscape maintenance and installation to irrigation and hardscapes, even AstroTurf. Turn your yard into a landscape you'll be proud to show off. Call Southern Gent Landscaping at 256-509-6088. 509-6088. Southern Gent Landscaping. Professional landscaping performed with satisfaction guaranteed.
Hey Huntsville, looking for action-packed events? The Huntsville Sports Commission is your hub for all things sports. From youth events to national tournaments, we've got events that thrill and inspire. Whether you're an athlete, a fan, or a volunteer, there's something for everyone. Cheer on your favorite teams, witness amazing talent, and be a part of the excitement. Check out our event calendar and get involved at huntsvillesports.com. That's huntsvillesports.com. Be there, Huntsville.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. It is definitely going to be on the warmer end of the spectrum. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. We only drop into the low and mid 70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Saturday. It's going to be hot across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the upper 90s. It's no rain in the forecast Saturday or Sunday. Sunday, we're going to start off in the low and mid 70s. A mostly sunny sky through the afternoon. Once again, temperatures climbing into the upper 90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Join us next week, live from Dallas, for SEC Media Days. 9 hours a day of coverage on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas.
The percussion music is brought to you by Owen Home Appliance. It's freezer season. Freezer season. Because you want to stick your head in the freezer. It's so hot outside. So it is freezing. Although the humidity has been down the last couple of days. I got to say, being out there walking a dog 6:15 this morning, it was lovely. I mean, it was really nice. But it is freezer season at Owen Home Appliance Center. And if these rising temps have your freezer on the last leg, you need to check out the name brand frost-free upright and chest freezers they've got at Owen Home Appliance. And let me tell you something. That showroom that they've got down there, about 8 minutes south of the river in Lacey Spring, is absolutely amazing. I mean, it is absolutely gorgeous. You need to go on down there and check that out. And while supplies last, you get that $50 gift card towards a purchase of Wagyu beef when you purchase the freezer. It's Owen Home Appliance Center with quality products, quality pricing, and quality service. It's right there in the name. All right, Grizz, I got to say something else. I know I don't want to stray.
Yeah.
I mean, I did my other rant about Serena Williams, the racist. I did that rant, but it has a sports hook. This one really does. This one doesn't have a sports hook. It's not a rant so much. Yeah. I have respect for your knowledge of your civic knowledge, your historical knowledge and things like that.
Yes.
So I don't know if you just saw this, but this is breaking news. the U.S. House of Representatives just passed the SAVE Act, which requires proof of citizenship to vote in elections, in national elections in our country. 190, the vote was, well, all 216 Republicans voted for it and 5 Democrats. 198 people voted against it. And I'm having a hard time. It passed, and then it's got to go to the Senate, and then it'll probably be vetoed. But I'm having a hard time understanding who wouldn't want proof of citizenship for people to vote in America. I mean, this is like the most obvious thing in the world. Of course you should have to be a citizen and have proof of citizenship to vote in America.
Challenger Elementary School here in Huntsville, they taught us in 5th grade how to vote, okay, and how important it was to vote in 5th grade. And
if
I feel like
citizen,
they,
though, right?
yeah, if you're a citizen of the United States.
Yeah, I mean, this is not about voting. This is about you have to be a citizen
Correct.
of the United. You got to be able
and
to prove
apparently
that
it's
you're a
offensive to ask people if you're when you're voting.
198
if you're a
people
citizen.
voted against that. I mean, what?
They ask me
Why?
for my ID when I walk into the church that I vote
course.
at, and I have
Of
no
course you
problem
have
at
to.
all.
Well, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to do away with that. You haven't asked you
No.
for your ID or
No,
your citizenship.
do it every time.
I think you should have a test to be allowed to vote. I think you should have to take a test and know something about our government. Good gracious. All right, coming up next, Drew Arman. He's a citizen, and he's back right after this on the Tom Abraham Show.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi, live on ESPN. Defending Wimbledon champ Carlos Alcaraz taking on Daniil Medvedev in the first men's semifinal at the All England Club. Alcaraz leads it 2-1. Later, 24-time Grand Slam champion Novak Djokovic goes up against Lorenzo Musetti, who is making his debut in a major semifinal. Oregon quarterback Dylan Gabriel has passed Georgia QB Carson Beck and Texas QB Quinn Ewers as the favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. Gabriel's odds plus 750 at ESPN Bet. Beck and Ewers had been the favorite since February. They are now 800 and plus 900 odds, respectively. A rally will be held in Paris tomorrow to honor Ukrainian athletes killed by Russian forces during the war in Ukraine. Ukraine will send 147 athletes to the upcoming Olympics in Paris. Only 16 Russian athletes are set to take part in the Summer Games.
As the weather heats up, so do the Braves. And they're showing the National League that they're still a force to be reckoned with.
2-0 pitch. Swung on and rocked down the left field line. Rolling down the line all the way to the wall. 2-1 Atlanta here in the fourth.
Tonight, it's the final weekend before the All-Star break as Sean Murphy and the Braves roll into PNC Park in San Diego for a battle with the Padres. Braves Radio's on the air at 8:25 Eastern, 7:25 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? My phone rings in my office.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're the ones who take your call.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash, and the freezer's free, and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog, Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back, hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. By the way, that update you heard from Wimbledon, the ESPN update is dated. Alcaraz did win against Medvedev and took him out in 4 sets. And Joker has gone ahead and taken out the Italian Musetti now. Well, wait a minute. No, they're in a what do you call it? A tiebreak in the 3rd set. Djokovic won the first 2 sets, and he is on the verge of winning the 3rd set. We'll see if he gets it done in the tiebreak. I think he may have. I think he may have already, but maybe not. But it's very, very close. So it'll be Djokovic, who is the 2 seed, against the 3 seed Alcaraz. All right, this segment of the show is brought to you by the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. It's not just any service department. It's the award-winning service department, and they can do everything from routine checkups for your Ford or other brands and even handle bigger issues because they got expert service technicians who can quickly diagnose your problem with their state-of-the-art tools, and get things resolved for you. They handle all sorts of services, including brake and tranny work. And if you can only get in on a weekend or after hours, it's the quick lane service as well to take care of you there. And don't forget the certified gold pre-owned vehicles from Woody Anderson Ford as well. You can shop them at WoodyAndersonFord.com. That's what I have done for my last several vehicles. And when my wife said, you know what, I'd really like to have a white Mustang convertible, I would just check every once in a while. Boom, I saw one on there. I called them up. I said, I'm coming. And if the thing starts, we're buying it. And it was a certified gold pre-owned vehicle from Woody Anderson Ford, and it has been fantastic for her, as is my pickup truck. All right, joining us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, our guy Drew DeArmond, back from the morning show, as I've stolen him since the morning blitz has been off this week, getting their last vacation in, and their loss is my gain, and Drew's been joining us all week long. Drew, welcome back. How are you?
Good, Tom. How are you?
I am fantastic. By the way, it looks like I'm going to be the first one getting to the house, our Airbnb, on Sunday in Dallas. and the house has 5 rooms with a king-size bed in it and 1 room with bunk beds. And Moulton told me that you prefer bunk beds to a king-size bed. Is that right? I mean, I'm going to go out assigning the rooms and give you the room with the bunk beds. I thought you'd prefer to have a king-size bed. I don't know.
No, I would prefer to have a king-size bed. If anybody thinks I like bunk beds, then they think that I'd have a picture of Phil Fulmer in my house.
I think Moulton was maybe trying to get one over. I'm not sure. All right, we'll put the kid in there.
He's reliving Indianapolis.
Yeah, we'll put the kid in there then. We'll throw Captain Cool in there then and let him hang out in the bunk beds. He can move to a different bunk bed each day. I think there are 4 bunk beds, or 2 bunk beds, 4 beds, so he can go in a different one each day, I suppose. It's going to be different, isn't it, Dallas? I mean, I don't know. Once we get in that hotel, it's going to be like every other hotel. It looks like from the mapping and everything, that's a really nice setup there at the Omni in downtown Dallas. But it's going to be different for a number of reasons, including the fact that Nick Saban will be there as a member of the ESPN media, as a commentator for ESPN. He's going to be the most sought-after interview anywhere on Radio Row or anywhere else. But it's going to be very interesting to see how his demeanor is and how he is, how he would change now as a member of the media as opposed to how he was as a coach.
I think he's going to kill it. He always did when he was on game day and when he did pre and post stuff, when his teams rarely didn't play the national championship game or make a college football playoff. He's always been able to talk ball. I mean, that's how I got the name of my show, because I heard him and Kirk Herbstreit spitballing about it one time. And he's always been able to articulate himself very well. He won the Icon Award last night with the ESPYs and made a great speech. He's just been gifted with the ability to be able to connect with people and speak publicly. And there's a reason for many years ESPN had a 7-figure contract on his desk to do television. He's going to reinvigorate College Game Day, I believe, as well, because he still has such a passion for the game. And he's so well respected among everybody in college football. And he, as I said this morning on Talking Ball, there wouldn't be an SEC network without him. College coaches wouldn't be making what they make without him. He hired the first analyst in college football history, so to speak, when he hired Jeremy Pruitt back in 2007. So he's changed so much about the game, and as a coach, and now I think he'll have a profound effect on it as an analyst, because I just think he's so well versed in everything and so polished, and I think he's going to do a great job in drawing more eyes to the SEC network and then to ESPN.
I think he'll be a lot better even than he was when he was a coach, because he was still, to a certain extent, talking to his team through the media, kind of guarding a little bit of what he would say. You'd see a little bit of the personality. But my oldest son, was on his first staff at Alabama, and he used to tell me stories that they'd say, Dad, he is nothing like what you guys see in the media. I mean, it's just at practice. I mean, the kids love him. He's hilarious. He's funny in the locker room. And some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth is incredible. And we would get little glimpses of that. I think you're going to see a lot more of that snarky, sarcastic kind of guy that he was probably more around his team. I think we'll see more of that now that he's, now that he doesn't have a team to speak to.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. And but the thing is, Coach Saban always was prepared as a coach for every situation, and now he'll pour that preparation into being able to analyze all the SEC teams and give you his opinions and strengths and weaknesses. I thought he did a great job during the NFL draft of talking about guys from his team and from everywhere else and other teams throughout college football and players that he'd played against. He's always going to prepare himself. And so that's why he could have been a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, because, again, it's about the work ethic and the preparation. He's always had it. And that's what Don James saw when he coached him at Kent State, and that's why he asked him to go into coaching as a GA, and the rest is history. Because, as you know, Coach Saban really had no plans to go into coaching, even though his father was one, and he lost his father, I think, at 47 years old, much too young, to a heart attack. But, again, let's just thank the good Lord that Don James saw what Nick Saban could do and what his potential as a coach, and poured that into him. And then Coach Saban, once Don James pointed him in that direction, he took the reins and I think became the greatest coach of our generation.
Drew DeArmond with us here. All right, let's shift gears and talk a little bit about Tennessee as we get ready to head out to Dallas. And they're one of these kind of a tweener team. Some people have them in the playoff. Other people think that they are a 7 or 8 win type of team. And let's first look at them from a recruiting standpoint. They're sitting at about 15th right now in the composite rankings with 16 commits right now. Including a quarterback from Brentwood Academy, George McIntyre, who is the top kid in Tennessee, but 8th nationally. They really don't have a true blue 5-star on their commit list. I'm a little bit surprised that at this point in time in the summer that they seem to be lagging a little bit behind. I mean, 15th in the country puts you in the middle of the SEC.
It does, but I'll tell you this, just watching tape of McIntyre, I know before Nick Saban retired, he was one of their top 2 targets at quarterback, probably with Juju Lewis. And that board changes when you change coaching staff. And McIntyre went ahead and committed early to Tennessee, but I really think he's a big-time player from Brentwood Academy. And the thing about it is he played basketball, won a state championship for my good friend Andy Blackston, who spent so many years and won 5 state titles at Madison Academy. And he's a heck of a basketball player. He's much more athletic than you would think, and plus he's a legit nearly 6'6", 190 pounds, but he doesn't move like that. He's an outstanding athlete. He can move in the pocket. He can absolutely run the football. He has great mobility. I think he's a 5-star talent. I thought it was a big-time get for Tennessee and a big recruiting win over Alabama. I would say he's a slam dunk to be the top prospect in the state of Tennessee. And I think he's a great building block. I see in recruiting a lot of times, Tom, it's about, okay, who committed, who's the latest to commit, who's the hot name right now, and people forget about how good a player can be because he commits early and becomes a kind of a leader of a class. But McIntyre should still be considered their best prospect. He should still be considered a 5-star talent. And he may end up being the best player in the class when it's all said and done anyway. And if he is, the quarterback position is so centric to what Josh Heupel does that I think he's got a chance to be a star. Now, I would go as far as to predict. I know they're in the mix for the number 1 overall prospect in 2026 with from out of the state of North Carolina, the Faison kid. But I still think George McIntyre ultimately will follow Nico Iamaleava as quarterback if he stays. Now, it's such a transient position, but he is a state of Tennessee kid. And I'll just be honest with you. The kids that have shown patience, like the Jalen Milrose of the world, and Jaden Daniels, who didn't, transfer and leave, to LSU when he wasn't a slam dunk starter when he first got there. The guys that have shown patience and stayed, absolutely, the Georgia situation as well. The quarterbacks that stick it out to me and learn the system end up doing the best job, end up being the best players. So I think if George McIntyre sticks it out behind Nico Iamaleava and works, I think he's got a chance to be an outstanding player. And they do need to step it up in recruiting. I think they will. I really like Douglas Utu, one of their latest commitments at the end of June. He's from Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas. He's an offensive guard that I think is a 5-star level talent. And they got a big-time defensive lineman in Marion Dye. And I'm just going to tell you this. Rodney Garner is probably one of the more underrated D-line coaches of his era that doesn't, he's bounced around. He's been at Auburn twice. He's been to Georgia. He's been to Tennessee twice now. But I'll give him credit. He produces pros. And that, I've been hearing that Tennessee thinks they're going to be able to play 13 defensive linemen this year.
Wow.
And since they brought him back, Tennessee has gotten so much better up front because I thought that was one of the main reasons they struggled against Alabama so much, and has now lost 16 out of 17 because the reason they had many of those games during the Nick Saban era, I felt like they were just at such a disadvantage in the trenches along the offensive and defensive lines. And now, with the coaching staff that they've got at Tennessee, I really think they've improved that exponentially with bringing back Rodney Garner. And then I think, their offensive line coach, Glenn Ellerby, is one of the underrated guys in college football as well.
Yeah, and when you look at him, Drew Darmer with us here, we're talking some Tennessee. 5 kids out of the state of Tennessee. Now, it was back in the day when Fulmer was building a team that was competing every year. He always talked about having a recruit nationally, and that's kind of what they did. They're in a corner there where they have multiple states that are right near Knoxville. But 9 other states represented. I mean, they got 1 kid each from 8 other states, but only 1 from Alabama, which is kind of surprising to me. That's a safety that is not, highly thought of type of kid, a 3-star safety, Sidney Walton. But it is a little bit surprising that they're not making more inroads into the state of Alabama. They do have 3 from Georgia, but down this way, only 1 kid so far they've been able to pull out of here.
Well, they've done a better job of it, though. I mean, in the last couple of years under Josh Heupel. I mean, when you look at who could be arguably their best receiver, Brew McCoy is likely number 1. He's a former 5-star who spent some time at Texas and bounced around at USC a little bit, but had a really good year 2 years ago as a compliment to Jalen Hyatt, and then got hurt last year. But when you look at it, Squirrel White is going to be their slot guy, probably their punt returner. He's an explosive guy. He got Tennessee off to just an unbelievable start last year in Tuscaloosa when they built that 20-7 lead. And he was a guy from Clay Chalkville who didn't really get recruited by Alabama or Auburn, but who's obviously an SEC football player. And then they've got, Cooper Mays is their most indispensable offensive lineman. When he was out last year, their O-line really struggled, but their center of the future is a guy from Park Crossing High School near Auburn in Montgomery, Beeson Lang. I think they really think he's going to be a good player, and he's another one that Auburn did recruit, but they lost a little momentum, and I think because of Harson's struggles, they didn't get him. Hugh Freeze came in kind of late there, but Beeson Lang is another quality Alabama kid that I think that they were able to get out of the state that Alabama decided to pass on, that I think is going to end up being a good player. And don't forget, is one of their early enrollees, Jordan Ross. We'll see how much he plays. He's from Vestavia Hills, Alabama. He was an edge rusher. Alabama and Auburn recruited him, but they decided ultimately to pass, and Tennessee poured a lot into him. Some thought he was a 5-star prospect. He's ranked in the top 100 by the end of his recruiting cycle last year. He could end up being a big-time pass rusher for them, because they're going to need some young guys to be in that rotation at linebacker, because they lost a lot of starters there. And then when you look at Mike, I also think that they've done a better job recruiting the state of Tennessee, because they've got Arion Carter, who's likely going to start in the middle of their defense, a middle linebacker. And I'll just tell you this beyond a shadow of a doubt, Alabama spent a ton of time recruiting him. They thought they had him. He's from near the city of Memphis, and he's going to be a big-time player, I think, for Tennessee and a pro. And they need to kind of rebuild that linebacker core. It's probably the biggest area of concern, along with being more consistent in the secondary. But I think they like their talent in the secondary, because they got guys like Jordan Thomas, and they do have another state of Alabama kid. He's a sophomore. Ricky Gibson will start at right corner for them, and he's from Hewitt-Trussville. So I think Josh Heupel, the one thing he did when he came to Tennessee, when Philip Fulmer was at his zenith, they came into Alabama and cherry-picked a lot of great players. And I think they're not getting the front-line guys, so to speak, the top 3 or 4 prospects in the state, but I think they're doing a better job of recruiting the state of Alabama. And I think they took advantage of Auburn's instability some in getting some of these kids like the Ricky Gibsons of the world that are very likely going to start for Tennessee in the fall.
Let's look at their prospects for this season. I mean, 3 of their 4 non-conference games are legit cupcakes. Chattanooga, Kent State, UTEP. There are no issues there. The NC State game is a neutral site game in Charlotte, which is a little bit of a lean towards NC State there, and it could be problematic. I wouldn't sleep on that. I don't know if it's a toss-up game. I think Tennessee's going to be favored in that game. They have that trip to Oklahoma, to Norman, in week 4. They also have 3 of their 4 big SEC games at home. They'll get Florida, Alabama, and Kentucky in Knoxville. They'll travel to Georgia. They're going to get whacked there. But let's look at this thing. Talk to me about the NC State game and then the trip to Oklahoma where Josh Heupel won a national championship, returns to Norman to take on his alma mater. And that seems to be a swing game for both those teams. As to are they 8 or are they 9-win teams? It's going to be based on who wins that game. What do you think?
Well, I think their schedule, sets up pretty well. I think that first stretch, and you talked about it, 2 of the first 4 when you're talking about NC State and Charlotte, second game of the year on September the 7th, then at Norman. If they can come out of there, 3-1 in their first 4, then I think they've got a good shot to be a top 5 team in the SEC. Now, it's it's a little bit of a tricky game at Arkansas, but Sam Pittman's kind of coaching for his job. We don't know how good they're going to be. And then the thing about it is their 3 biggest games of the year are kind of spaced out. And so they're not – you don't have besides the difficult stretch of 2 of the first 4, when you're talking about 1 on a neutral field and 1 on the road, you get Alabama in Knoxville, but you don't play them until October the 19th. And then you get almost a full month before you go to Georgia on November the 16th. I think, worst case scenario for the Vols, it would be a 4-loss regular season, but I still think they're probably a 3-loss team. Yeah. We'll see. But the problem is I like Oklahoma and Norman over them. I like Alabama to beat them in Knoxville. And then I like Georgia. But is that going to be good enough to make the playoff? I think they'll still be in the mix. But in my opinion, a 3-loss SEC team, by that point, you'll be on the edge of it, but you might need some help. So they're going to have to win one of the 3. Georgia on the road, which is going to be very, very difficult. Alabama and Knoxville. And of course, we know they beat Alabama there 2 years ago, and the only win over Nick Saban. And then in Norman, Oklahoma, they've got to find a way to get one of those 3. If they can do that, if they can get 10 wins in the regular season, then I think they've got a good shot at making the college football playoff. But for me, the biggest question for the Vols, is going to be how consistent are they going to be at wide receiver? Because I think Squirrel White's a good player. Can he make that jump? Because they had Cedric Tillman and Jalen Hyatt have unbelievable seasons in 21 and 22, but they didn't have somebody really step up last year. Is Brew McCoy going to be healthy? Can he be a number 1? And then if not, can Mike Matthews, who's probably the most heavily recruited wide receiver he's a 5-star out of Georgia of the Josh Heupel era, can he have a freshman All-American type season? Because for me, Tennessee's going to be able to. They ran the football much better than people give them credit for last year. Jalen Wright had a great year, 1,000 yards, went on to the NFL. Now, can the Sampson kid from Baton Rouge, can he make that jump? Can he be an every down back and complement Nico Iamaleava? Because I think Iamaleava is a great talent. I think he's going to be much better and more consistent than Joe Milton. But you're going to have to protect him. You got to help him, and the wide receiver group is going to have to kind of come of age for Tennessee, and we'll see if they can do that. Brazel, the transfer from Tulane, I think he needs to be much more consistent as well. They need to have 3, 4, 5 wide receivers play at a high level if Tennessee is going to be a college football playoff team this year.
Drew Darman has been our guest. Drew, I appreciate you. I'll make a note that you do not, in fact, want the bunk beds. I mean, that's what Moulton told me. He said you wanted bunk beds. I don't know. So I'll make a note of that since I'll be the first one getting there. I will put your name on a sign on a door that has a king-size bed, and you'll get one of the nice rooms.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I don't need a bunk bed about as much as I don't need to go through the city of Winchester, Tennessee, since that's the home of Philip Fulmer. I don't want
That's
to do that.
true.
I appreciate your son.
True.
I appreciate your son, and to congratulate him on his radio station acquisition. And I'm glad that we're going to have 97.7 his own programming on there, but not one of my favorite parts of the United States is Philip Fulmer from there.
I gotta drive up and down Philip Fulmer Highway every time I go to the lake. Every time I take my boat down to the lake, in fact, my road turns into Philip Fulmer Highway when it gets over on the other side of the track. So I feel you. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And his, Tom.
And his name is on a plaque that's at the stadium there. And I will say this: when John was John's spring game his senior year, I went to John's spring game his senior year. I'm walking up on the in the stands, and there's Philip Fulmer up in the stands at John's spring game, watching his alma mater. I guess his mom, I don't know if she's still alive or not, but his mom lived here, and he would still come and visit her as well. And Johnny Majors, his brother, lives here, and yeah, this is a big orange country for sure. All right, man, I appreciate you. All right,
man.
Thanks. I think, look, if they're a 9-3 team and the losses are to Georgia, Alabama, and Oklahoma, they're not going to the playoff. Not going to the playoff and beating anybody. You don't get to go to the playoff because you beat NC State. I think the Kentucky game in Knoxville, which they should be okay in, but that's the game that decides whether they're an 8-4 team or a 9-3 team. I'm going to have them at 9-3 when I do my list from Dallas. I'll have them at 9-3, but that's the swing game, Kentucky. All right, we're going to get a break in here. We will come back right after this. I am Thom Abraham. Back with more of the Thom Abraham Show next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Hey, don't come back until I come back.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
As the weather heats up, so do the Braves. And they're showing the National League that they're still a force to be reckoned with.
2-0 pitch. Swung on and rocked down the left field line. Rolling down the line all the way to the wall. 2-1 Atlanta here in the fourth.
Tonight, it's the final weekend before the All-Star break as Sean Murphy and the Braves roll into PNC Park in San Diego for a battle with the Padres. Braves Radio's on the air at 8:25 Eastern, 7:25 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on BHHSRiseRealEstate.com.
Hi, I'm April Rose, and we all know about the speed of sound. But have you ever thought about the sounds of speeding? If you drive over the speed limit, there are lots of sounds that you might hear. You could hear the sound of your vehicle crashing, the sound of first responders desperately trying to save you. You could even hear the sound of people crying at a funeral. Because if you drive over the speed limit, you could do damage that's beyond repair. One way or another, speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The Diamondbacks shut out the Braves 1-0 on Thursday. Brandon Pfaadt went 6 innings, 4 strikeouts, 3 hits allowed. On the other side, Max Fried suffered the loss. He went 6 innings, 5 hits allowed, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. Paul Sewald got the save. It was his 13th of the season. Eugenio Suarez hit a solo homer in the 5th. Atlanta's lost 2 in a row. They dropped 9.5 games behind the Phillies in the NL East. Philadelphia has won 3 straight and 7 of 10. Atlanta heads to San Diego today. Spencer Schwellenbach faces Randy Vasquez. Atlanta minus 125. The Padres plus 105. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
T-minus 3, 2, 1, blast off.
Groups have more fun with the Rocket City Trash Pandas. Toyota Field is the perfect backdrop to celebrate. Please enjoy great benefits like preferred seating, $2 ballpark credit per ticket, recognition on the video board, all-inclusive options, and much more. Visit TrashPandasBaseball.com/groups for details. The Rocket City Trash Pandas. Have a blast.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? My phone rings in my office.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're the ones who take your call.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship in insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
The weekend is officially underway as the Pensacola Blue Wahoos take on your Rocket City Trash Pandas. Friday and Saturday nights always close out with the best fireworks in the Rocket City. Plus, on Sunday, first 1,500 adults will receive a Trash Pandas beverage sleeve. Get your tickets for the weekend series now at tptix.com. Let's rock it.
When the biggest names in aerospace, financial services, and electronics needed office and manufacturing space in Huntsville, they called Samples Properties, and they've been doing it for over 40 years. When Huntsville first began to grow, so did Samples Properties. You can trust your business to Samples Properties and their deep knowledge of the commercial real estate market in Huntsville and Madison. When you're in the market for commercial real estate and you need a partner who knows how to make your plans come together, Samples Properties can guide you through all the legal, financial, and regulatory hurdles. And if you just need office space to start or grow your business, Samples Properties is the call you need to make. Go to samplesproperties.com to see the impressive list of clients that have profited from the knowledge and integrity of Samples Properties. For commercial real estate development and consultation, trust your business to Samples Properties, with offices on Madison Street in downtown Huntsville. Samplesproperties.com.
Hi, I'm April Rose, and we all know about the speed of sound. But have you ever thought about the sounds of speeding? If you drive over the speed limit, there are lots of sounds that you might hear. You could hear the sound of your vehicle crashing, the sound of first responders desperately trying to save you. You could even hear the sound of people crying at a funeral. Because if you drive over the speed limit, you could do damage that's beyond repair. One way or another, speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. It is definitely going to be on the warmer end of the spectrum. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. We only drop into the low and mid 70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Saturday. It's going to be hot across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the upper 90s. It's no rain in the forecast Saturday or Sunday. Sunday, we're going to start off in the low and mid 70s. A mostly sunny sky through the afternoon. Once again, temperatures climbing into the upper 90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Into the studio. We'll have to get him over here on this side, but sliding into the studio so you can see him there on it. Oh, you could hear him when we were talking. Steve Moulton has come by here, and Steve's been helping out Joe getting things set up at his new radio station, which will flip to ESPN Radio and carry some of our programming as well. They are a Vol station, so I think that probably Drew Darman is going to download the app. Right, Steve? So that
there is no doubt.
So that right?
No doubt.
Yeah, he'll have to download the app so that he'll be able to. He'll be able to.
No doubt.
Listen to the Tennessee Vols, but it's a cool little setup over there, isn't it?
It really is. There's a lot of potential.
You know, you and I have known each other for probably 20 years. Yeah, I was going to say, 20 years ago, be 2004. So, we've known it. But this is the first time you've been out to the digs. And the Big Dog Production Studio.
I saw it upstairs in the main.
Oh,
house.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had been out here before. And it must have been a minute ago. But I've been over here, but I'm getting kicked out over here. I like this. It's too nice. It's a nice setup, but it's a guest bedroom in the guest house. And she's like, no, you can't have that. You can't keep that. But no, it actually it's going to be good though. You saw, Steve during the break walked over with me, and he saw. What we're doing
are you going to call that the servants' quarters?
No,
on the air.
No, it'll be the studio. It's been the servants' quarters, and for years we've always called it the servants' quarters because when we bought the house, that's what they called it. It's a storage room,
the break room,
break room. I put Grizz in there. I'll put you in the. I'll put you and the Rumor in there. We got the Rumor on the board.
Might be bigger.
I nicknamed him the Rumor because he's an intern that's worked for us for 7 days and he's leaving. So we'll have him next week. Yeah, no, Grizz, you could live in there. I mean, it
might be bigger than my apartment.
No, it's not. It's only 200 square feet, but yeah, it might be, but it might be good. But so I told Drew that you specifically said that Drew wanted a room with bunk beds. At the beginning of the interview, I mentioned it again at the end, but he said he disputed that. He doesn't think there are 5 bedrooms.
So you believe Drew or me? I mean,
there are 5 bedrooms that have king size beds over there at our Airbnb in Dallas, and then there is one that has 2 bunk beds. So there's 4 beds. So I guess we'll put the kid in there, and we'll let him. He can be like Goldilocks and sleep in each of the 4 bedrooms on the 4 nights that will be there. This is a little bit of a different animal. It'll be interesting because once we get there and we're up in the ballroom and we're on the floor, it's an Omni. I think it was an Omni last year in Nashville. Probably going to feel like any other place. You're going to be there dark to dark, and it's just going to be that kind of a deal.
Everything's all on one floor, which is what happened last year in Nashville too, and that was nice.
Yeah.
The fact that I just hope we have that corner suite like we had last year.
Well, you guys get in there
and then you through the ground at one point. Was that last year?
That was bad. Yeah, it was last year. That was bad, man. I mean, I thought I fell. I was hurtling through the air. I fell a foot through the back patio. They had those
concrete blocks.
Yeah, they had concrete pavers basically, and one of them was loose. It was almost a Tom Abraham Omni. I mean, everybody came from security, and they sent people over there like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I should have said something like, "No, I'm damaged for life. I can't. I need hip replacement surgery now," or something like that. But it'll be different being out there. You know, and I haven't heard anything yet about 2025. I'm hoping.
I'm hearing rumor. Are you hearing anything?
No, I've heard nothing. What have you heard?
The scuttlebutt is that we're going back to the Big D.
Why would we do that?
Why
would we go to the edge of the world twice?
I don't know. I wasn't pleased hearing that either.
I was hoping it would be here. I mean, or here meaning Birmingham.
A rotation potentially of maybe Dallas, Atlanta, Nashville, and
Birmingham.
do that triangle.
And Birmingham.
Well,
I mean, we're never going back to Hoover. That's the home of the SEC.
Doesn't feel like we're ever going back to Hoover.
I mean, if I'll tell you what, if I'm Florida, I'm kind of pissed. I'm like, you know what? If I'm people that cover the Gators, I'm like, oh, so they show up. We're going to Dallas. We've never gone to Orlando. You know, why wouldn't they send us to Orlando or someplace like that? You know, and get closer to those guys or Jacksonville. You know what I mean?
It'd be a closer drive.
Yeah, to Jacksonville. So, I have a long drive. Take me about an hour and 45 minutes to get to the airport.
Yeah.
It's going to take me as long.
That. I'll be thinking about you
Think
Sunday
about me.
morning at 4 a.m.
It's going to take me as long to get to the airport as it's going to take me. The flight's an hour and 57 minutes. It's going to take me an hour and 45 minutes to get to the airport probably, but maybe not too bad on Sunday. So
10 hours in the car.
Yeah,
Any advice with
tremendous
it's
conversation.
Myself, it's Drew, it's Scott, it's John. My wife wants to put this on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
For the full 10 hours.
Who do you think sits in the back with John?
I'm going to say Drew.
You're going to have to pull your seat way up. Will Scott drive the whole way, or will you guys alternate? You're going to split it up?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So,
but we have concluded that Drew is not driving.
So Scott will get you to Memphis in his 5 hours, and then you will get them from Memphis to Dallas in your 4 hours, probably. I heard you're a little bit of a
bit of a lead foot.
A little bit of a lead foot.
Well, there's plenty of NASCAR paraphernalia.
Yeah, there is in here, not as much as there was in the other place. I'm hoping in the new place. I actually have stuff in boxes still that didn't make it up here. And just about, I'm going to say pretty much every single book you see on a shelf here in the studio are books that
Ian O'Connor or Belichick book is fantastic.
Outstanding. These were all sent by authors that have been on the show. Every single book in here were sent by. I love having authors on, and I don't know.
Not as many fishing books as I thought there were.
They're all on the bottom down there on the bottom right is where the fishing books, and then there's the magazines, the Bassmaster, and all that stuff is over here, and of course the boats that pick up one of those things. How heavy those are! Those are die cast boats, and they're pretty heavy. Yeah, for those of you that are watching on WZZN TV, that one there is a Dale Earnhardt one. There's two Dale Earnhardt ones, which tells you how old these things are. But going back in the day. So what the story on those was, I used to do a remote at a memorabilia place in Florida, and a guy paid me in memorabilia. That was my remote fee. Those were like $75 a piece when they were new. So. All right, well, I'm gonna run over there and see you guys. Steve is here because he is over helping Joe out get things set up at WCDT, and then we'll look forward to that, man.
All right,
good stuff. All right, see you in a bit. Drew, it's Steve Moulton, not Drew Darman. This is like everybody now. If I ever could get Scott to come on the show with me, then I would have everybody from a different day part come on. But I don't think I now have had every day part represented on the show. Let me get Paulie in here. He's waiting patiently because he's a good pig. Paulie, welcome to the show. How are you?
Man, you guys talk like you guys never been out of the house and going somewhere. My goodness.
Yeah. Well, going to Dallas is kind of unique,
Really? But anyways, only 50 more days until football. Can't wait.
15. Yeah, that's something.
50.
No, well, no, not with the. With the what do you call it? The Hall of Fame game. Gris, check out when the Hall of Fame game is. I think the Hall of Fame game. I'm telling you, I think the Hall of Fame game is like in July or maybe the first week of August. I think we're 3 weeks away from a game.
I'm going with the Thursday night game, Chiefs and Rays.
August 1st.
August 1st, you get the Hall of Fame game. You'll probably bet on that thing, knowing you. So a little action on it.
I'll take the over.
There you go. Don't even know what it is, and you'll take the over.
I was very depressed that guy's thinking Tennessee is going to get 3 losses. I think there's going to be a surprise, and they might just walk away with just a 1-loss season this year. Go Vols.
So who would they lose to?
Probably Alabama.
So if they lose to Alabama, you think they can go to Georgia and beat Georgia? Come on.
Oh,
yeah. They'll lose at Georgia. No, they're going to lose at Georgia. The one that you got to be cognizant of is that game at Oklahoma. I assume they're going to beat NC State in Charlotte. But what about when they go to Oklahoma? Going to be a lot of emotion there. I'm going to have them losing at Oklahoma, losing at home to Alabama, and losing at Georgia. I have them at 9-3.
I don't see it.
Well,
There's going to be a surprise.
You got orange-colored glasses. You know, what can I tell you?
And, of course, oh, my goodness, the All-Star break is right around the corner.
Yeah.
You know what that means now? All these games are going to be precious. Oh, my God.
They mean something now.
Important.
Yeah. Those last 18 losses by the Yankees in the last 25 games, they don't mean anything. It's the ones that they play after the All-Star break that mean anything.
Exactly. So you're going to hear it. I'm not the one who comes up with the saying. The media is like, oh, now these are very important now. Oh,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
God.
Absolutely ridiculous.
The Dolphins looking pretty strong. I'm hoping the defense will be as good as it was last year. And hopefully they'll make it to the playoffs and win the division this year.
I have them favored to win the division. I think Buffalo is a wild card team. I think the Dolphins win the division.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Vegas was awesome. Oh, by the way, if anybody's thinking about going to Vegas, the $5 craps table has disappeared. There's no more $5 craps, thanks to Biden and his inflation.
Yeah. Well, $5 doesn't go as far as it did in the past, that's for sure. Did you come out of there ahead? Did you come out of there? Did it cost you to go to Vegas, or did you come out of there? Did you cover your nut?
I'm down $300-400 overall, just goofing around. But a week in Vegas, and then it cost $300 with the room paid for. Yeah, it's not a bad week.
Yeah.
But I was going to tell you, you got to go to the Sphere. That place is awesome, and at night the way it lights up, unbelievable what they did with that, man. It's really super cool. The Sphere.
The Sphere. Yeah, that's where they had the NHL draft.
$5 craps is Ellis Island. Ellis Island Casino is the only place left that has $5 craps. Everything else is $25.
Yeah. I used to go play on that boat, the M or whatever it was, that boat out of Fort Myers Beach. You go down there and play, and you could play. As soon as it got offshore, 7 miles or 10 miles offshore, something like that, you'd be in international water.
7 miles into the Big M, and then the thing was 3 guys came in there and crushed the table on craps. These guys were betting big on the horn, betting big on the field, and they were crushing them that night. These 3 guys, and next thing you know, the M disappeared after that.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. Good stuff.
Go Dolphins.
Paulie in the Cape. Bama Brad hit the text window. He says, all right, I don't call every day like my other doghouse boys, but I have an issue with position players being used as pitchers. It shouldn't be allowed in MLB. It's terrible for the game. Why? I mean, I don't know why he would necessarily feel that way. I mean,
get off my lawn.
I mean, I love Bama Brad, but I feel a little different about it sometimes. I mean, I wouldn't want to throw out my closer or some kind of reliever out there if I'm down by like 8 runs or more.
Right. Why,
I mean,
what's the problem with it? With throwing them? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to save your. I mean, is he saying that maybe it distorts the numbers because of the
ERAs kind of jump a little bit, I guess, on something.
No, I mean, the batters though, they have a chance to pad their figures. They're going against
they had a ephus ball.
Batting practice fastballs and that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't think it would bother me too much. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, final segment. It's Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Embark on a flavorful journey at the Brewers Cooperative. Located within the vibrant community hub of Stovehouse in Huntsville, our brewery isn't just about crafting exceptional beers. It's a destination where culinary delights and local brews harmonize. Whether you're seeking a laid-back lunch or a lively dinner with friends, our diverse menu has something to please every palate. With a commitment to quality and a passion for innovation, we invite you to savor the unique flavors of Huntsville's craft beer scene at the Brewers Cooperative. Call 256-678-7036. The Brewers Cooperative.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
It's freezer season at Owen Home Appliance Center. So if rising temps have that freezer on its last leg, check out the name brand frost-free upright and chest freezers. Best of all, Owen Home Appliance has them in stock and ready to go or have delivered. Don't let all that high-dollar food go to waste. Go to Owen Home Appliance Center and get that new freezer. And while supplies last, get a $50 gift card towards the purchase of Wagyu beef when you purchase a freezer. Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's in the name.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Hi folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Our customers trust us not only to find the right hardware, but to advise them on the technology that makes them more efficient.
My Next Level team researches and discovers real solutions. Check-in software, HR, digital signature, and workflow software. It saves you money immediately. We hold your hand and stay with you through the transition.
We're taking our customers to the next level in business process automation.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. It is definitely going to be on the warmer end of the spectrum. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. We only drop into the low and mid 70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Saturday. It's going to be hot across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the upper 90s. It's no rain in the forecast Saturday or Sunday. Sunday, we're going to start off in the low and mid 70s. A mostly sunny sky through the afternoon. Once again, temperatures climbing into the upper 90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center, where thousands of area residents have received world-class care from the Valley's most trusted and experienced group of orthopedic surgeons and medical specialists. TOC services the Huntsville Havoc and Alabama A&M and, well, most of the high schools in the area as well. 13 locations throughout the Tennessee Valley, including over in Fayetteville. If you have an orthopedic problem or are considering professional care, TOC is the only logical choice. Whether you have a work-related injury or got sidelined playing a sport you love, you need the best care, the best physicians, and the best facility to get you back in the game. And I think that you will agree that the Orthopedic Center is right for you. Grizzy, you're going to try and kind of like get yourself psyched up for next week, because it's a big week for you.
Walk in the park.
Yeah. I mean, you'll have your little,
Easy.
You'll have your team with you there, but, you're responsible for everything basically that's happening at Grand Central.
Yeah.
So making sure that everybody's doing what they got to do and doing it correctly.
We will be just
and all that
fine.
Kind of good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Think you're going to be good? You'll be good?
Yeah, not worried about it at all.
All right, that'll be good. Lane Kiffin, dad, Monty Kiffin, passed away. We got word earlier today that Monty Kiffin had passed away. And, Monty Kiffin's a great defensive coordinator. He was a great, great defensive coordinator. Now, there's some question, about the Tampa 2, all right? When you think of Monty Kiffin, you think of the Tampa 2 defense.
Yeah.
Which is basically the cover 2 defense with a drop Mike linebacker. That's pretty much the difference between, cover 2 is 2 deep, but your safeties and 2 corners, and it's a 4-3 look and so on. You can play cover 2 out of a 30 front as well. But in the Tampa 2, it was a 4-man front, shaded front, up front, all penetrating front 4 type of deal. But with the Tampa 2, it featured Mike linebackers that were kind of a crossbreed, a big guy that could run, a guy that could be a Mike linebacker, but a guy that could run really well. And the reason was, in the Tampa 2, you would drop the Mike linebacker into the middle of the defense. It sounds elementary now, but it was revolutionary back in the day. I mean, when they first started doing this thing. Now, there is some controversy as to whether or not it was Tony Dungy that came up with the Tampa 2 and that Monty Kiffin perfected it, or did Monty Kiffin, that he designed the Tampa 2, and Tony Dungy. I think that you have to give both Tony Dungy and Monty Kiffin credit for the Tampa 2. But it became very much a prevalent defense. And, it was designed to be able to have 3 deep with a Mike linebacker. So it would be a disguising defense. The response to the Tampa 2 from a defensive or offensive standpoint was to run more crossing routes, slant routes, read option type stuff. That was the best way to defeat the Tampa 2, and to use the flats if possible. One question I do have is, Lane Kiffin is scheduled to go on Monday. And Monty Kiffin passed away this morning. It's not out of the realm of possibility that the funeral would be Monday, unless they delay things for Lane, because then Tuesday he's clear the rest of the way. It'll be interesting. I'm sure his demeanor is going to be much, much different. I'm sure he'll be asked to talk about his dad, Monty Kiffin, as well, who was working with the defense at Ole Miss. All right, that's going to do it for me. Paul Feinbaum's show is next. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you in Dallas.